rupees 30 received on PhonePe.
So why do you think UPI succeeded in India? Some say because it was fast. Others say because it was free. Some say Indians adapted to smartphones very quickly, or that government pushed it hard.
UPI'S,
UPI.
All this sounds reasonable, but now this explains why UPI gets such a tremendous success in the last decade with such low per capita income and generally less technology penetration. So the real question is a bit uncomfortable. Why did India need to invent a payment system entirely from scratch
UPI is all set to become India's next big export.
without importing anything which was already available and already got success elsewhere in the world? When the shock of demonetization rolled out, there was a deeper truth about India's financial system that got exposed. And no one could have imagined that. And this was not just a currency shock. It was a stress test of the nation that ran on cash, memory, and trust. UPI was launched during the same time, but demonetization did not create UPI's success. Rather, it forced millions to confront how mentally fragile the existing digital systems were. And here is where the real problem became visible. For years, the policymakers and the companies believed that if you give the right digital alternative to people, they will automatically migrate to it, like cards, wallets, apps. India tried almost all of them. Banks built systems, startups built interfaces. Foreign models were copied directly, yet in India, the adaptation remained fragile. But people used all these when they were forced, incentivized, or confused. But that instinct was always missing, so cash remained supreme. But if you think why, because people don't reject such digital systems because they're digital. They reject because they feel mentally expensive, not financially, but mentally expensive. And this is where something the analysts generally miss out. In India, a payment is generally not just a transaction. It is a social art, a communication, a trust, which somewhere got missed in the previous digital systems. Before UPI, digital payments in India looked like this. You open an app, choose the bank, remember a password, wait for the OTP, and hope the transaction doesn't fail. All of these together created friction, and friction creates a cognitive load problem. It prevents the habit formation. UPI didn't win by being advanced. It won by doing something far more subtle. It collapsed the cognitive cost of paying. Instead of asking, how do I pay, UPI trained the brain to ask, whom am I paying? And that is a massive shift. Think about how you hand over cash. You don't think about your bank or your account number, your check numbers, you just give. UPI created that exact same simplicity in just digital form. Your app became interchangeable, and your main anchor became your phone number, something you already burned into your muscle memory. UPI separated three things that were always targeted before: identity, bank account, and the app interface. And this meant any app could work, any bank could participate, and the user never had to think either about the bank or the app, and this gave pure cognitive liberation. But simplicity alone doesn't represent adoption. The real differentiator was something else. It was control. UPI didn't just make the payments easier, it made people gain a control in an unknown digital framework. India has a massive economy that is largely unorganized, smaller in ticket sizes, and in huge volumes. And for generations, this particular sector remained outside the periphery of the formal economy. UPI solved two problems at different speeds. The immediate one was simple. It reduced the daily dependency on carrying and exchanging cash. And the slower, deeper change was structural. It gradually brought millions of economic actors into the formal economy through banking transactions without forcing them to get formalized. People accepted this transformation because UPI did not demand learning, it just offered relief. No private company could have built UPI not because the lack of talent, but because of incentives. A private wallet wants you to get locked inside their ecosystem. It wants the data gravity, balance retention, brand loyalty, but UPI wanted the opposite: neutrality, interoperability, and the freedom for users to switch apps without the friction. And that is why UPI behaves less like a product and more like a public infrastructure like roads or railways. UPI made Indians feel like they are the nodes inside a national financial network and not just customers inside a digital funnel. Once the cognitive friction disappeared, something remarkable happened. Payments stopped being the decisions. They became reflexes like scan, tap, and done. No reward points were required, no habit formation tricks were needed. UPI scaled because the relief scales faster than excitement. Street vendors adopted it, seniors listened to it, teenagers normalized it not because they understood UPI but because they didn't have to. And this is how it passed the stress test. UPI was designed to be free for a reason, not as an end product, but as a gateway to a larger structural reform. It added no extra material baggage. It blended into an existing necessity. The smartphone came, the chip internet expanded, regional languages were introduced, entry barriers quietly disappeared. UPI is not just a success story, it is a template, a demonstration that India's biggest breakthroughs will not come from copying advanced systems, but from designing the systems that respect human bandwidth. As India moves into AI, digital public infrastructure, and platform governance, these lessons become critical. The future doesn't belong to the most powerful technology. It belongs to the technology that asks least from the human mind.